Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shubho Shuntha. On behalf of the Bengal Club, I'd like to welcome all of you here today to a narration of Charu's story, written by Rabindranath Tagore in 1901 as NASTANIRH, immortalized further by Satyajit Ray in Charulata, a film that we have all seen many times and loved. It has been conceived and directed by the one and only Piali Ray, there's Sumit Ray, Pradip Mitra, and Rajrupa as well. Before we start, I'm sure you've been waiting for quite some time impatiently. I'd like to mention for all of you that the bar and snacks are all outside. Nothing will be served as of now for the next 1 hour, 15 minutes. You can quickly slip out if you want before we start. And I'd like to make the customary, I'd like to make the customary warning of please keep your phones on silent or on vibrate mode. Thank you all very much for cooperating, and thank you all so much for coming here. Enjoy the evening. I'll hand it over to Shohini Guptu, who will give a formal introduction.
NASTANIRH, which literally translates to the broken nest, written by Rabindranath Tagore and on which this evening's play, Charu's story, is based, was published in 1901. It created quite a sensation, not just for its bold theme, but because it was alleged to be autobiographical. Rabindranath's sister-in-law, Kadambari, was a great lover of literature, and young Robi became a partner in her literary enterprise. As the little boy Robi grew into manhood and wrote his first poems, Kadambari was his chief inspiration. Till his last days, Kadambari remained the poet's Jibone Dhrubotara, or the pole star of his life. At the time NASTANIRH was written, colonialism was strongly entrenched in India, and the middle-class youth in Bengal were under the influence of English education. Bhupati was a typical product of this age, and Tagore portrayed him as a man obsessed for 12 years with the newspaper he owned and the editorials he wrote. Indeed, it was his preoccupation with the newspaper which forms the backdrop against which the alienation of his wife, Charulata, unfolds. The story is set towards the end of the 19th century, when girls were married young and grew up, by and large, without the companionship of the husband. In NASTANIRH, Charulata, who had a literary taste, grew hungry for love and found an anchor in Amol, her husband Bhupati's cousin, who had grown to be a moderately successful writer. Charu is shown to be intensely in love with Amol, and this obsessive yearning for him undermined her marriage and eventually led to the tragic wrecking of her home, hence the broken nest. How did Amol feel about Charu? He was certainly attracted to her, but Tagore never makes it clear whether he loved her, as we do not have a clear insight into Amol's innermost feelings. But his decision to marry and go away to a faraway land was perhaps a result of a sense of guilt of having ruined a home. Or was it because he wanted to forget Charu, as he knew that a relationship with her would not have much of a future? The appearance of the new woman is perceptible in Tagore's works like NASTANIRH. Women's movement in India owed its origin to the freedom movement. As women joined the political agitation against colonial subjugation, they became conscious of the other kind of control at home under patriarchy. They gradually began to develop their own individuality and became persons on their own terms. Tagore understood the need for change and thus gave women both the space and individuality to express their considered views on love, patriarchal control over women, between men and women, extramarital attraction and relationships between men and women, both within and outside marriage. Educated women like Charulata had built her own world where she spent time with Amul, where she read and wrote and finally decided not to go with Bhupati but live alone in the empty house. Charu had thus come into her own, an emancipated woman emboldened to face the world in her individual capacity. When three friends, Nandini, Sipra and Piali, got together to create a performance material out of this Tagorean work, they chose English as the medium in order to reach out to the non-Bengali speaking audience. A unique combination of English dialogue interwoven with original Rabindra Sangit lyrics was adopted for this endeavor titled Charu's Story. Some Bengali terms like Dada, meaning elder brother or male cousin, Botan, or sister-in-law or elder brother or cousin's wife, Thakurpo, or younger brother-in-law or husband's younger male cousin, and Pan, or betel leaf wrapped with condiments, have been incorporated in the English dialogue to retain the original flavor of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have great pleasure in presenting a dramatized play reading of Charu's story.
This is a very critical issue for the welfare of the country. As Bhupati Dotto, editor of the National Herald, I asked for many clarifications, but the spokesman was unwilling to enlighten me on most issues. Oh, no, that sounds too verbose. I asked Her Majesty's government whether the people of India did not have the right to know.
May I come in?
Since when have you needed my permission to come to my office, Charu?
Well, you're always so busy with your newspaper and editorials. You're forever late for your meals. And as for spending time with me...
Yes, I know, I neglect you shamefully. But my dear, the budget debates are on, you know. And I must be very careful to present my readers with an exact picture.
Dada, I've checked the proofs and corrected them. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, thank you. You are so efficient. You really are a godsend, you know.
Dada.
Tell me, are your studies going well?
Dada, my...
Thakurpo, when you've finished here, do come in for your dinner. I'll go and get the meal ready.
Amol, I hope your Botan takes proper care of you.
Please don't embarrass me, Dada. What claim do I have in this world upon you and Botan? But who else do I have in this world? Without your support, I would have never found a home.
Enough, Amol, enough. Oh yes, there is something you can do for me. Your Botan is quite interested in literature and writing, you know. Would you please guide her studies? As you can see, I just don't have the time myself, and she doesn't have much to do in the house. Oh, she must be quite bored all day long.
With pleasure, Dada. I already know she has fine taste in literature and a lot of imagination too. Yes, of course. I'll encourage her in her reading.
Thakurpo! Thakurpo!
Coming, Botan! I'll wash my hands and be with you. May I go for dinner, Dada?
Of course.
Botan, which of my favorite dishes have you made today? I must say, my friends absolutely delighted with the splendid meal you served them last week.
Were they, Thakurpo? Really?
They said it was absolutely delicious. They want to repeat, Bhutan.
Why, of course.
And that shawl you embroidered for me was also very well appreciated. Now that I know you stitch so beautifully, Bhutan, I have a special request. You must keep it.
What is it, Thakurpo?
First, promise me that you'll do what I ask.
Really, Thakurpo, you bother me no end. Cooking for your friends, embroidering your shawl, stitching a new cover for your sofa, even fixing flowers on your mosquito net. Look at all the things you've made me do for you. No more.
But Bhutan, don't you enjoy doing things for me?
No, I've done enough. Now don't bother me anymore.
All right. I'll ask Monda Bhutan whether she'll be kind enough, whether she'll embroider my slippers for me. She's so good at making pan, perhaps she embroiders well too. Who knows? Where do you think she is now? Oh, Monda Bhutan! Monda Bhutan!
Just be quiet, will you? Just because Monda makes good pan, it doesn't mean she embroiders as well as I do. Do you want your slippers spoiled? Of course I'll do it. Did I say I wouldn't?
That's settled then. I'll have embroidered slippers better than the ones worn by my friend, the Raja of Kuch Bihar. Now, I can relax. Bhutan, let's go out to the shrubbery and make plans for our new garden.
Here are your 2 pans, Amul Babu. But remember, this is your quota. You won't get any more.
Why only 2, Monda Bhutan? I know you make unlimited numbers of pan, so why only 2 for me?
Because, my dear, you and I have to remember our place in this household. We are dependents, remember? So only a limited number of pans for us.
You talk too much, Monda. Thakurpo, I'll go and fetch the mat. We'll meet in the garden.
Will you come with us, Monda Bhutan?
Me? No, my dear. Don't I know my place in this household? I'm just a hanger-on, the mistress's brother's wife. Besides, I have mounds of chores to finish. But you go ahead, my dear, and do pick some jasmine for me.
Bhutan, it's no use. For the last so many days, we've tried to accommodate all our favorite things in our fantasy garden. But it's impossible. There is no way we can have a lily pond, a Japanese bridge, a marble landing stage, and a deer shack, all in this little piece of land.
And anyway, it's going to be too expensive for me to pay for.
Why not ask Dada to pay for the expenses?
Oh no, Thakurpo. This will be our secret garden. Yours and mine. Your Dada, Monda, none can enter and spoil it.
Anyway, it seems we won't have our fantasy garden after all.
You know, Thakurpo, I have been thinking. You should begin to write. Suppose you wrote a story and you put our imaginary garden in it as a backdrop. Well, you could describe the lily pond, the deer in the shack,
And the tiny Japanese bridge spanning the pond with a gleaming white marble ghat at the other end.
and all those beautiful plants from Ceylon and Mauritius that we were planning to put in there. Oh, it's so exciting, Thakurpo. Even if we don't really have our garden, it'll always be in your writing. Promise me that you'll begin to write, Thakurpo. Tell me that you will.
Do you think I can't write?
Oh, you must have already written something. What is it? A story? An essay? Why didn't you tell me all this time? Go and get it. I must read it.
No, let it be for now.
Rubbish. You will fetch it this instant.
Suppose you don't like it?
I'm sure I will. Oh, is it this one? Come, let me read it. It's called The Notebook, is it? That's novel. Dear Notebook, my imagination is yet to touch your purity. You seem to me so tender and yet so enigmatic. When will that day come? When I'm penning the last words of the final stanza. It seems a distant dream for this novice writer. And you said you couldn't write.
I was unsure. I didn't know if...
But now you know. You are a writer. And a good one at that. Oh, what lovely times we will have together. You, the writer, I, the audience. We could discuss themes and plots.
And Bhutan, if I can't find the right words or get confused, you must help me out.
But mind, no one must know about this. This will be our secret world. Yours and mine. I will be your sole reader, your sole critic, the only one to savor your work.
Mudhuro, mudhuro dhoni baje, hridayo kamolo bono majhe, mudhuro, mudhuro dhoni baje.
Bhutan, have you heard of the magazine Shuroroho?
Well, what of it?
It's an A-class journal. It publishes articles of a very high standard.
Well,
Don't you want to see what Shuroroho has published in this issue?
what?
Oh, Bhutan, you're being a spoiled sport. I think you've guessed what I'm going to say.
Which one of your articles have they published?
The first one, Bhutan. The Notebook. Well, what do you say to that?
What do you want me to say? I'll say exactly what you wish to hear.
Bhutan, you don't sound too pleased.
Why shouldn't I be pleased? It really is good news.
Just think of it. Just think of it. So many people will read my work.
Yes, and you will become famous. Eminent critics will praise you. Magazines will acclaim you. Editors will vie for your work. But our very own world, you, me, and your writing will vanish like a dream.
কি দ্বিধা রেখে গেলে চলে সেদিন ভরা সাঁঝে যেতে যেতে দুয়ার হতে কি ভেবে ফিরালে মুখখানি কি কথা ছিল যে
Amul Babu, here's some pan for you.
Why, thanks. What a welcome surprise. Where have all your stingy ways gone, Manda Bhutan?
Well, I'll be honest, my dear. Earlier, you were no more than a poor relation in this household. But things have changed now, hasn't it? You are now called to preside over such large meetings. So many important men come and seek your time and advice. Your writings have gone to high places. Why, Amul Babu, you've become a great man.
Ah, I see. Is that why you're taking greater care of me these days?
Oh, won't her ladyship scold me if I neglect her own special special celebrity.
You shouldn't be so disrespectful.
She shouldn't be so possessive. Did you see how upset she was when you were listening to the story of my childhood the other day?
Oh, come.
Her ladyship has her likes and dislikes. Everybody knows it. Did you see her expression? How upset she was when you were reading out letters from your lady admirers? I almost choked trying not to laugh.
Chakurpo!
There, the royal summons.
But I'm not a slave. I have the right to choose whom I talk to and whom I want to not talk to. If I wish to listen to the story of your life, no one can stop me.
No, indeed.
Chakurpo!
I won't go.
But don't be seen here with me. That will be disastrous.
Well, I have other work now.
Chakurpo? Where did he go? I thought I heard his voice here just now. Was he sitting here talking to Monda? How things have changed. A wall seems to have come up between us. A wall made up of his admirers. There was a time when the two of us were on equal grounds. He wrote. I was his muse. He had some ideas. I helped him express them. But now it seems he's far away from me, far ahead of me, and I can't find him through the maze of other people.
Charu, do you have a moment to spare?
Now? At this time? You never come in from work at this time.
Yes, I know. I'm usually busy till late night. In fact, there's a lot of work waiting for me. Yet, this evening I thought...
Why don't you go and finish your work?
Why, Charu? Can't I just sit quietly in your room for a while? Just to feel the calm and get my peace back?
Well, sit then. But I can't sit with you. Please excuse me while I go and finish my chores in the kitchen.
Alas, Charu, I have lost my sleep, my peace, and my tranquility. Have I lost you as well?
দাঁড়িয়ে আছো তুমি আমার গানের পারে আমার সুরগুলি পায়ে চরণ আমি পাইলে তোমারে দাঁড়িয়ে
Why did he come into my room just now? Is something on his mind? Something about Tagore? Or about me? It couldn't be his newspaper. Why didn't he tell me? Should I have asked him? He did look rather upset. But I have more serious things to think about now. I must get even with Tagore, and quickly. We used to be friends earlier, but then he began to leave me behind. But I must show him that I can't be taken for granted. But how? How should I do that? By writing. Yes, Tagore, I should write. But what? About what? The full moon? The spring breeze? Oh, breeze of spring, if only you blew in the days you do at night. That's rubbish. That's That's not my style. I can't copy Thakur's style. His style of writing is not mine. Suppose I wrote about my childhood, the village where I grew up, my village, the village pond, and the doings of the women and children, and the Kali temple nestling amidst the banana fronds on the fringe of the forest. How spooky we children found it at night, how frightened we used to be. The owls hooting, a sudden slither in the undergrowth as a snake glided by, the bats circling the banana trees. And then the Kali Puja, the throbbing of the drums and the incense-laden air glowing in the oil lamps and the bloodshot hibiscus. And the village fair, how we children watched the jugglers and acrobats and ate sweets and pan and peered into the fortune teller's tent. A vignette of my childhood. Yes, Thakurpo, I shall write. And it'll be so good that you will have to appreciate it. And then once more, we shall get lost in our secret world. No Manda to interrupt us. Your Dada can be as busy as he likes with his newspaper, while we immerse ourselves into our world of writing.
Charu, I have a big grievance against you. You have become a renowned author by your own right, and you didn't even breathe a word about it to me. Is this a punishment for my neglect of you?
What's this? I? A renowned author? What nonsense. I've only written a
Oh,
few...
no, Charu. Your work is significant enough to merit a review. See, this article in the prestigious journal Bishwabandhu is a comparative analysis of the merits of Bengali authors. In fact, it holds you up as, wait, let me read the exact words. The works of the young author Srimati Charulata Devi stand out for their simplicity, spontaneity, humor, and their evocative descriptive style. Quite a compliment when pronounced by Bishwabandhu. And more so when the writings of Monmoto Dotto and his fellows have been severely criticized for lacking the same qualities. Even Omol has not been spared. The reviewer asked them all to learn from the style of Srimati Charulata Devi.
But no one knew of my writing except Amol. We'd made a pact. We'd show our writing only to each other and to no one else. How dare he break my trust and send my writing for publishing?
Oh, perhaps he did it because he recognized the talent of his student and was proud of her. He wanted to show her off before a wider audience.
But he broke our pact.
Well, I must say, Charu, this is a classic case of a student stealing a march over the mentor. I do hope Omol will not be annoyed.
Well, I hope so too. Anyway, he's been behaving rather peculiarly ever since he became famous.
What is it,
And
Charu?
there's something else.
What is it?
I hate to say this, but I don't at all like the way Monda behaves with Thakurpo these days.
Monda?
Yes, she's a wicked, sly woman. She calls him up at odd hours on the pretext of giving him pawn and behaves indecorously with him. What shameful behavior!
Behaves indecorously. Charu, I'm sure you're mistaken. Omol is no more than a boy. And aren't you being hard on your brother's wife as well? Of course, I do understand that you take your position as the mistress of this household rather seriously, but still
I'll stand for no nonsense in my house, let me tell you.
Well, my dear, I'll leave you to set your house in order. Omol, oh, do come in. Your Bhutan has something very interesting to show you. Charu, I'll go back to my work now.
Is it that article in Bishwabandhu Bhutan?
You never told me that you were sending my work to be printed, Thakurpo.
I
thought you didn't like my style of writing.
I never said that. I did think your style was too unsophisticated, that it needed more craftsmanship and polishing. And I found the Kali temple a bit too emotional and sentimental. It's quite a novel topic. But I did feel that if you had followed my guidelines and refined it a bit, it would have been even better. However, it seems my analysis is wrong.
So you must have read the article in the Bishwabandhu very carefully.
And you must be feeling very proud of yourself, Bhutan.
And are you annoyed about it, Thakurpo?
Annoyed? Oh, I don't know, but a little disappointed perhaps, to think that now my work will no longer be good enough to entertain you.
Oh, Thakurpo.
In fact, I have a new essay ready, but I suppose it will be too exhausting for you to unravel its intellectual dimensions. I'll find Monda Bhutan. She likes my writing, doesn't find it showy, nor does she criticize it. I'll read the introductory bit to her.
Read your essay to Monda? Are you mad? What does Monda know about literature?
At least as much as I do, Bhutan. Though neither of us can match up to you, it seems. Goodbye.
Stop! Listen to me. Please hear me out. He's gone. I only wanted to tell him that I didn't wish to belittle him. It was just a harmless game between us. How innocently was this game of writing begun, and how evil it has now become.
জেনে শুনে বিষ করেছি পান, আমি জেনে শুনে বিষ করেছি পান, প্রাণেরও আশা ছেড়ে সবেছি প্রাণ, আমি জেনে শুনে বিষ করেছি পান, আমি জেনে শুনে।
Why did Umapodo get me into such trouble? Bills not paid for more than 6 months? The money siphoned off to build his house in his village? Huge debts in the market, with his creditors being directed to my door. Did he think my wealth is limitless? Enough to pay for all his misdeeds? The paper merchants threatened to take me to court. Me? I, who fight for justice and fair play for my countrymen, must stand trial as a proclaimed offender in a court of law. Oh, the shame of it, the ignominy. Did Umapodo give no thought to all this? Is he so unscrupulous that he would knowingly shame me in front of the world's eyes? And to think that I trusted him completely. I never checked any of his transactions. The accounts of the National Herald and any of my own household was safe in his hands. Or so I thought. A sacred trust. Yet he had no scruples in breaking my trust. Ah, fool that I was to have had such faith in him. But he's Charu's brother. Should I not have trusted him? Whom should I trust if I cannot believe in the integrity of my own family? But Charu must not get to know any of this. It would break her heart. Oh, no, no, no. I must be very careful to keep all this away from her. I'll tell her Umapodo and Monda going back to their village to supervise the construction of their new house. That must be Motilal. Oh, I was sure he wouldn't forget our long years of friendship. But surely he'll help me out now, just as I stood by him in his hour of crisis. Come in. Oh, not Motilal in person, but a letter from him. He writes, Dear Bhupoti, though we have been friends for years and I had complete trust in you, it seems you chose to break that trust and tried to cheat me. The money you lent me 10 years ago did not run into thousands of rupees as you mistakenly state. It was but a paltry sum of 500 rupees. Another thing you apparently chose to forget when you asked me to return the money is that we agreed years ago that I need not return this sum to you. In fact, my financial state is strained even now. Et tu, friend? Then die, National Herald. Nothing can save you now, neither my passion for you nor my devotion to your cause. Oh, nothing. We are ruined.
Dada, would you look at... Dada? Dada, what's wrong? Do tell me, Dada.
Nothing, Amal, nothing. Just overwork and tiredness. You know, I'm so weary, exhausted due to these budget debates and my complete failure at championing the cause of the countrymen. Don't worry, Amal. I will recover very soon.
What's this, Mandabota? Why are you packing things into trunks?
Haven't you heard the news, Amal Babu? We are going away. We are going back to our village tomorrow.
What? Why? Are you unhappy here?
Me? No. I was very comfortable over here. But it seems Dada has decreed that we have to go back to our village to supervise the construction of our new house.
But that's ridiculous. It's not necessary for you to go back to the village. As far as supervision is concerned, Umapodo Babu could go over occasionally and that would be enough.
Yes, I know. I also think that that is not the real reason behind this banishment.
Then what is?
Her ladyship, of course. Couldn't you guess? She has told the master that I behaved indecorously.
Indecorously?
With you. Oh, the shame. Think of the gossip, the innuendos, the lies. I can't go on like this. I can't.
In that case, they must be thinking the same of me. Oh God, I can't stay in this house any longer. What must Dada think of me? That I betrayed his trust? No, no, no. I'll go away. But before I do, I'll have to explain.
Amal Babu, where are you going? Wait!
Later. I'll talk to you later. I have to find Dada now. Is he in his office? Was that why he was so agitated yesterday? Because he suspected me of wrongdoing? Oh, no, Dada. I'm no betrayer. Dada, may I come in?
What is it, Amol? You look absolutely devastated. What is wrong?
Dada, has Bhutan complained to you about my behavior? Do you have any complaints against me? Believe me, Dada, I have never...
Amol, please calm down. It's nothing so serious. You know how much your Bhutan loves you. You are as much her brother as mine.
Still, I think you have suspicions, some wrong ideas about me. I beg of you, Dada, please don't misunderstand me.
No, of course not. In fact, the only two persons I trust completely in this world are you and Charu.
Oh, thank God for that. Dada, I think the time has come for me to look for a job and to stand on my own feet.
Amol, don't be foolish. Concentrate on your studies for now. Then after you finish that, you may look for a job and be as independent as you like.
Yes, Dada, as you say.
Now, go and discuss literature with your Bhutan to your heart's content. After all, that is one thing I have no taste for and cannot share interest in.
Dada, let's both go to Bhutan.
No, Amol. Got to get back to my joyless office and sort out my troubles on my own.
Is something wrong, Dada, with the newspaper? You've been quite preoccupied, even worried these last few days.
Well, troubles do crop up now and then, Amol, but it's nothing for you to be anxious about. I'll manage everything in my way. Go along now.
But something is very wrong with Dada, even though he says nothing. Is it the newspaper? If things are getting difficult, why is he sending Umapada Babu away at such a critical hour? Now that I think of it, Naib Moshe was saying something about embezzlement the other day. Then who? Good God. Could it be that it is Umapada Babu who has cheated Dada? No, impossible. Bhutan's brother. Manda Bhutan's husband. But then, why should he be leaving this house on such flimsy grounds? Wait, didn't I hear Umapada Babu's voice raised in an argument with Dada yesterday? And all those tradespeople clamoring in his office these last few days? Yes, everything is clear now. Oh, poor Dada, poor Dada. The newspaper he set up with his very own blood is in danger. And of course, Dada would not share the burden of his problems with any of us. Possibly not even with Bhutan. But surely, she has an inkling about it. After all, she's his wife. I'll ask her myself.
Oh, Thakurpo, were you coming to my room? How nice. I take it our quarrel is over and you would like to read my new essay. Let me tell you, I've taken your advice very seriously. I shall follow each instruction you give, and you must point out each error ruthlessly. Do sit down while I go and get my notebook.
Wait, Bhutan, wait. First tell me, what's worrying Dada?
What's worrying Dada? Is anything wrong?
Hasn't he said anything to you?
Does he talk to me at all? He's always buried deep in his world of newspapers.
But Bhutan,
What is it, Thakurpo? I've no time for mysteries. If there's something you want to tell me about your Dada, hurry up and get it over with. Then let's settle down to our work.
Dada's looking pale and anxious these days. Haven't you noticed?
Don't worry, it's probably a quarrel with a rival newspaper. He'll get over it very soon.
But Bhutan...
Come on, Thakurpo. Let's not waste any more time.
Bhutan! Is worrying for Dada more than a waste of time? I'm afraid. I can't accept that. I'm sorry. I don't have the time to sit with you. I have more important things to do.
Charu, I've received an excellent proposal of marriage for Amol.
And excellent what?
A marriage proposal.
Why? Am I not suitable anymore?
Well, we haven't asked Amol whether you're suitable or not, have we? Even so, don't I have a small claim in this matter?
What nonsense. I thought you said there's a marriage proposal for you.
Ah, Charu, what makes you think I'd even consider such a proposal? Oh, this is for Amol, as I said. An eminent lawyer from Bardhaman, Raghunath Babu, proposes to make Amol his son-in-law and send him to England after that to study law.
Amol will get married and go away to England. Well, indeed, that is an excellent proposal. But will he agree? He's always been so adamant and rejected all the proposals we've had so far.
Dada, Motan, is something wrong? I was told you were looking for me.
Wrong? No, it's just that your Bhutan and I get rather nervous when we broach this subject with you. You know, there's a good marriage proposal for you, Amol, from a reputed lawyer from Bardhaman. He wants you to marry his daughter, and he wishes to send you to England to study law after the marriage.
Oh. Well, I have no objection. If you find it suitable, I won't say no to the proposal.
Why, Thakurpo? That was a remarkably quick answer. Your Dada and I never realized how eager you were for marriage.
Oh, Charu, don't you know why Amol never agreed to marry? Because he was afraid of you. He was scared that you would be jealous and you would trouble his wife.
Me? Jealous? Never. Why should I be jealous? It's very rude of you to say so.
Charu, I was just teasing you.
No, I
Can't
don't.
have a little fun at my own wife's expense.
No, I don't like such teasing, and you must.
All right, I won't. Do forgive me. So, Amol, I take it the proposal has been accepted?
But we haven't even seen the girl. How can you fix Thakurpo's marriage without even seeing the girl even once?
Oh, I'm told she's quite beautiful.
If Dada is satisfied, I have no need to see the lady.
So eager to escape from us, Thakurpo. To marry and sail away to England. Why? Haven't we looked after you well? Have I tortured or ill-treated you that you're so anxious to leave us and go away to England?
You know, Charu, these modern young men can't wait to wear a top hat and coat and become sahibs. But don't worry, Charu. Let the sahibs go away to foreign shores. Many of us will stay back with our dark beauties.
Seriously, Dada. In the last days, I've realized how selfish I have been, how insensitive and uncaring. I've been blind, Dada, to all your troubles and difficulties, and never once tried to understand, never tried to help you or lighten your load. But no more. I vowed to take up my responsibility seriously. No more shall I waste time pursuing writing. Now I have just one goal to fulfill: to stand on my own feet and to relieve you, Dada, of some of this massive burden of debt and duty you are saddled with. You've done so much for me, for so many more like me whom you've taken under your wing. only by standing by you and sharing your responsibilities can I ever really begin to repay what I owe you.
মারে করিয়াছো জীবনের ধ্রুবতারা এ সমুদ্রে আর কভু হব না পথহারা তোমারে করিয়াছে জীবনের ধ্রুবতারা।
Dear Thakurpo, do you remember the day your Dada and I discussed the proposal for your marriage with you? That was actually the last time you and I really talked to each other before your departure. These past few months have been so full of conflict and misunderstanding between us. Ever since the business of writing began, we went from being friends and collaborators to rivals. And our earlier relationship of deep affection and friendship was gone forever. Instead, jealousy, annoyance, and bitterness was all that remained between us. Oh, Thakurpo, what sparkling jewel-like moments we've shared in the past. Jokes, laughter, playing pranks, writing, dreaming, even shedding tears together. Should it have ended in this way, with such coldness and a pretense of indifference? Right till the end, I waited for you to clear up our misunderstanding, but you never came to me. And then it was the final day, the final moment. You touched my feet and said, "Take care of Dada, Bhutan. He has no one else but you now." And you were gone, with nothing resolved between us. At least your Dada was luckier than I was. He was there for your wedding in Bardhaman. And when he saw you off on your journey to England, when he returned, he was both happy and forlorn. So happy that the wedding had gone off well, but so sad to have returned home alone. He told me how both of you wept when it was time for you to leave. Tell me, Thakurpo, were some of those tears for me? For our lost relationship? I don't think you'll get this letter. I don't know whether I'll find enough courage to ask your Dada to send it to you. But at least I felt some comfort in writing it. God bless you, Thakurpo. Your loving Bhutan.
Respected Dada, please accept my humble greetings. The voyage has been uneventful so far. Nothing but water, water all around. Fortunately, I'm not prone to seasickness as some of my other co-passengers are. Dada, the further I go away from home, the more I miss it. Not for a moment can I forget the care, love, and attention showered upon me, and once again my eyes filled with tears. But such weakness won't do. I must garner the strength to face up to my isolation. Please don't worry for me. I'm going to post this letter at Aden. I pray that it finds you and Bhutan in good health. My respects to both of you. Your brother, Omol.
My dear Thakurpo, yesterday your Dada read out your second letter, the one posted from the Suez. I felt a lot like a drowning man who finds a bit of straw at the last moment and just manages to escape death. Many things have changed in our household. Your Dada has taken the National Herald out of circulation and quit the world of newspapers and editors. But the problem is that he doesn't quite know how to fill the vast vacuum in his life. I think he expected that a life of simple domesticity would be very pleasant. But the truth is that the obsession of 12 long years can't be replaced in a trice, can it? He has replaced the newspaper with me and expects to find joy and contentment in my company. But how can I satisfy him? All these years, our paths have been separate. He never attempted to mold me according to his needs, nor did he ask anything of me, any service or favor or the fulfillment of any need. Now, when he stands before me as a seeker, I don't know how to respond. How can I bridge this chasm of unease between us? I long for the old carefree days, for our camaraderie, our innocence, our sweet simplicity. What dark and devious emotions are emerging now from somewhere deep inside me. Nor is there any hope for immediate respite. Pray for me, Thakurpo, for my sanity and well-being, as I pray for you.
Dear Romul, your letter from Malta was a great relief for your Botan and me. Though we know that you're safely on board a ship that is carrying you to England, you've been in our care for so long that we can't but worry. England, the land of Pitt, Peel and Bentham, of Parliament and oratory. I almost envy you, Omol. Had I been 15 years younger, I might have gone with you. Oh, you must grab every opportunity to broaden your mind, to listen to parliamentary debates, to imbibe the wonderful British sense of justice and fair play. After all, it is only by introducing such concepts in our own land that we shall benefit our countrymen. And never forget your duty to your country. The National Herald has had an ignominious death, but I'm at last a free man. Free from the tyranny of the press, I can look forward to spending time with your Botan. I would be lying if I said I do not miss the rush of meeting deadlines or the pleasure of writing a scathing editorial. But on the other hand, I finally have time to enjoy literature with Charu. Many a pleasant evening do we spend together reading the classics and the great poets. Neither of us is given to open displays of emotion, but we cannot hide, from each other at least, how much we miss you. Some time back, I found Charu in the other room weeping her heart out, poor thing. After all those days of such close companionship, no doubt she misses her mentor and guide. Unfortunately, I cannot totally fill the space left empty by your departure. I have neglected her for too long and must get to know her afresh. All is well with your wife. For her sake and ours, I pray for the speedy completion of your mission. I remain your loving Dada.
Dear Thakurpo, if only you know how eagerly I wait for each mail day. Of course you don't, because you never get a letter from me, nor it seems you expect a letter from me. How often do I read and reread the letters you address to your Dada, but not a line do you write to me. Why? Why do you torture me so? Oh, Thakurpo, life has become unbearable for me. I thought that the pain of our separation would lessen with time. Yet it is not so. Each day seems more empty, more pointless, more terrible than the last. I can find no meaning in anything I do, since none of my chores involves you. Just half an hour of each day is reserved for you, in between the public performance of this domestic drama. Each day, I devote just half an hour to you when I sit alone in my room before your beloved photograph and immerse myself in the memories of our days together. I laugh, weep, worship my dear deity deep in my heart, alone, far away from the eyes of the world. When I leave my room, the mask is in its place once more. I used to think I could go on in this way indefinitely. But of late, when there's no letter from you on a mail day, I get distraught. My thoughts go awry and I cannot perform my chores. I can't even carry out a proper conversation. My appearance has become slovenly. I catch people staring at me, the servants and neighbors, and I can't seem to pull myself together. Oh, Amol, why is this happening to me? My world seems to be disintegrating. Everything I knew, understood, and loved seems to be crashing down. And I'm left torn and bleeding. Why? Why? All I want now is to be the wife your Dada wants. Why is it becoming increasingly impossible?
আমার সকল দুঃখের প্রদীপ জেলে দিবস গেলে করব নিবেদন আমার ব্যথা পূজা হয়নি সমাপন আমার সকল দুঃখের প্রদীপ।
Charu, what is wrong? Are you unwell, my dear? You haven't combed your hair and your face looks very pale.
No, it's nothing. It's just that I'm so worried about Thakurpo. We haven't had a letter from him for almost a month.
Worried for Amol? But I told you that he's written in his last letter that he's going to be very busy from now on. Don't you trust me, Charu? Of course I'll tell you if there's anything wrong.
Don't even mention it. Pray that nothing is wrong.
Telegram, Sahib, telegram.
Telegram? From England? Oh, dear God, Amol. Charu, I feel scared even to open it. It reads, I am well. Amol. How strange. Why should Amol send such an expensive telegram just to say this? 100 rupees? Charu, don't you think it's strange? As if there was telepathy between the two of you.
Give me the telegram.
No, wait. Let me see the address. What? This is a reply paid telegram. It means that someone had sent it from here. Well, I didn't. But who? Did you, Charu? Charu, did you send it? Why? Where did you get so much money? Tell me, Charu, don't be quiet. I can't bear it. Tell me the truth. Everything.
I pawned my gold bangles for the money.
But why? What was the need? Wouldn't I have given you the money if you had asked me? Why did you suppress it, Charu? What was the need for such secrecy? Unless your feelings were clandestine. Where is the notebook with my writings in it?
It's over there, on the table. Why? What are you doing? Why are you tearing it up?
Because these are worthless, simply rubbish, and should have been thrown away right at the beginning. Shame, Charu. Even if you did not, could not love me, there's no need for such deceit, for such lies and deception.
It's almost time for you to leave.
Yes, I won't say I'm not apprehensive. After all, Mysore is a new place.
But you'll be involved in your known world of newspapers and the press.
Yes, but it's not my paper this time. I'll merely be editing someone else's paper. But you're right. It's a newspaper after all. Time to go.
Don't leave me here alone. Take me with you.
Charu is distraught. How difficult it'll be for her here alone. Alone in this house with the burden of her memories, surrounded by them. But what about me? What about me? Is there to be no respite for me? My world is destroyed. My wife secretly loves another man and mourns his absence. Must I go on supporting that grieving woman forever? Will I be forced to bear the relics of my shattered world on my unwilling shoulders? Will I never be free? No, Charu, that's not possible. All right, Charu, come with me.
No. Let it be. I have to go on. Alone. I will go on.
Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Piali Ray, Pradip, Mitra, Sumit Ray, and Rajrupa. That was indeed such a brilliant dramatized play reading. And thank you so much. Every single email has been worth it. And it was a wonderful show. Thank you all so much for coming. You've been a great audience. I'd like to present, of course, please.
Well, I think I'll use my stage voice.
First of all, thank you, the audience. You have been such a support through the evening, and for that, we are deeply indebted to you. Thank you. I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to Bengal Club, especially Dr. Nandini Ray and our very own Sumit Ray. They have been so supportive over the last few months. Thank you, Bengal Club. I would now like to call on stage someone very special, someone who has written the script. Sipra Bhattacharya, will you please join us? Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it for Sipra Bhattacharya? And now someone who makes herself absolutely indispensable in every production of mine, Shohini Guptu. This absolutely gorgeous backdrop, the poster outside, all courtesy Shohini. Before I introduce my cast, I would like to, of course, introduce you to my technicians. Arranging the music, Shopun Bandopadhyay and Joy Gopal. Doing the lights for us, Utyo Jana. And now my cast, Pradip, Mitra playing Bhupati, Sumit playing Amal, and Rajrupa Chakravarty playing Mandakini.
And last but not the least, playing Charulata Devi, the one and only Piali Ray. A big hand for our director and the actress.
May I request one of our former first ladies to hand over a small token of appreciation?
We'll come here. Come. Rajrupa, come.
A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nana, you go. Jelly, go. Oh.
Indeed a pleasure, and I can say from my side as well, I'm sure all of us shed a tear or two with you on stage, with your entire cast. Thank you so much.
To remind all our members and guests that we have a very exciting Western musical evening coming up for you in the month of July. If I'm not mistaken, it's on the 12th, 14th. 14th of July, we have a Western music recital here at Salon 175. We'd request all of you to please block that date and look forward to seeing all of you once again back at the Bengal Club. Thank you very much. Good evening and stay well.